Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Business Revised TV channel. We love coming together to bring you great videos to not only encourage and empower you in your business, but also to introduce you to amazing businesswomen like the gal you're going to meet today. Tiffany Schuman is here with me. She is a Mary Kay consultant that's just accomplished a ginormous goal, and I'm so excited for you all to get to hear from her and to learn a little bit about her goal-setting process. I know firsthand how hard Tiffany works and how dedicated she is to her business and the goal she wants to meet and reach. I've known her since high school, and and through that, even then, she was a rock star, just committed in all things. And what I love about her is that there's nothing super special that would give her an edge. She just knows how to work hard and be committed to the cause. So welcome, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi.
So why don't you start off by telling us just a little bit about what you do, because I know in addition to your Mary Kay business, you also have a full-time job too. So it's not just all cosmetics in your world. You're one busy driven gal.
Yes. Okay. So my name is Tiffany Schuman. I am a Mary Kay beauty consultant. And I also have a very full-time job working with an accounting firm. So that basically means from the months of January to about mid-May, we're pretty swamped working on tax returns, but we also do anything from tax returns to audit paperwork and all the things that an accounting firm would do. So I have to manage my time really well. And I'm currently planning a wedding for October. So I also have to manage that part of my life. So learning to balance all those wheels while accomplishing really big, Mary Kay things. I don't know. It's something I kind of thrive on, but also something that takes some work and some diligence.
Yeah, I can imagine so, especially because, as a Mary Kay consultant, I know you in that role. It seems like an accountant role is so far on the other end of the spectrum. I don't know how you put those two together in one person.
Totally. They're very different.
Well, in your Mary Kay world, I know you just kind of crossed the finish line for your calendar year. So each year Mary Kay runs their year from June or July to the end of June. And so you just came to the end of the year. And so tell me a little bit about how you celebrated and your big, ginormous goal that you reached, and what that means to us who aren't consultants.
Okay, yeah. So to give some backstory, 2 years in a row now, so not this year, but the prior seminar year and the year before that, I had achieved a status called Princess Court of Sales. That means you sell about 20,000 retail to your customers within one calendar year, so from July 1st to June 30th. And then I was challenged this year by my director, last July, by my director to you could probably do a little bit more. And I was like, okay, maybe 25,000, that's fine. But she was like, no, you could probably do a little bit more. Just working to stretch me and stretch my own belief in myself. And she challenged me to do the National Court of Sales, which is 40,000 retail. That's more than double what I did the years prior. And so coming into this last year, so July 1st of 2018, that was kind of a goal that was kind of stirring in my mind. And my director just told me recently, she's like, it probably took you 2 months to actually admit to yourself that was your goal. You'd be like, okay, sure, Karen, I'll do that. But it actually didn't sink in until I put the work in. I was working for it in July and August and realized, oh, I could maybe actually do this because I was on target. And I tell you, being on target for something is a lot easier than trying to play catch up because you're doing double the work. So I achieved the National Court of Sales in the end of May, and my director during May, so our year ends on June 30th, during May was like, maybe you could do a little bit more. And I'm like, lady, do you know what I'm doing? And she was like, why don't you stretch to be in the top 20 of the Sapphire division of sales consultants? Really, that means you have to reach the National Court of Sales, and then you have to go above and beyond it to be in the top 20. And she kind of gave me a number to shoot for. And so I just went to work doing what I knew how to do, party with people, share the opportunity, get people and have them reorder their products, as well as some specials and things. So all of that together and really just not giving up and pushing to the finish line allowed me to finish number 10 in my national area and number 14 overall. And to celebrate, I mean, I think I was the only person who didn't think I could do it, because my fiance, when I told him, he was like, I knew you could do it. And I was like, you knew I could do it. Like, do you know how hard that was? But yeah, so to celebrate, we went to Dallas and I got to walk across stage and spend some time with the girlfriends, and really just kind of relish the thing of like, oh my gosh, like I did more than double what I did the prior year. Like what could come next? So just kind of transitioning now into starting back at zero this July 1st and planning what I'm going to do for the next year.
So let's take it back a step. And so you did the $40,000 to reach the national court sales.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you actually crossed the stage and took that recognition, how much in retail sales then did that put you at to be at number?
I had over 47,000. So I did about 7,000 in 1 month in sales, which is like 3 times more than I've ever done a month.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And let me just remind everyone, that's over $47,000 in retail sales while working full time. I was a Mary Kay consultant a number of years ago for a number of years, and I could do that kind of production, but Mary Kay was my full-time job. So it says so much to not only your hard work, but to the sacrifices I know you made along the way to have the time and energy and focus really to reach that goal. So over $47,000 in sales, and you said that was number 10 for your division. Okay. So how many women would that have been out of the 10, or to get you in 10th place?
Maybe a few thousand.
So let's just say a couple of thousand, just to ballpark a figure here. The number 10 highest sell person. I mean, that, I don't care if you put 3,000 people in a room and you rank number 10, that's darn good. I don't care what you're doing. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So one of the things that's been really cool with that is that not only do I get to kind of see Tiffany succeed in her business, I'm also one of her customers. And so many people watch a video where they see me speak in public, and they always comment on my skin looks great or my makeup looks great, and it's all totes to Tiffany because she takes care of me in that way. Makes things well. And actually, when I went for my last checkup after my car accident in January to see my plastic surgeon, he was like, "What are you doing to your scar that makes it look so good?" I'm like, "Okay." Little CMC going on up there, taking care of that. So anyway, I know firsthand, first of all, the massive accomplishment that is, and just how hard that you work. So take us through maybe those last couple of days leading to the deadline, because everything had to be done and calculated midnight, June 30th, or the very last day of June. And so I know that you were still kind of pushing for that final goal those last couple of days. So walk me through the mindset there that kept you really pushing to cross it and not quit, because once you knew you reached the national quarter sales, you really could have just been like, oh, I'm good, because the national quarter sales still would have gotten you the ring, right? Right? Do you have it on? Do we see it? Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So you would have already won the prize that you had been kind of like trying to reach all year long. So how did you keep yourself motivated to not settle and really push those last couple of days?
Yeah, so you're totally right. I personally know I'm very driven by prizes. So like the pearls that I'm wearing and the pearl necklace that I'm wearing was also a part of being on the National Queen's Court of Sales, so also the ring. So I know I'm very motivated by prizes, but I'd already achieved both of these, so it was kind of like, well, but I knew I needed extra money for my wedding coming up, so that's one thing, having, somewhere where my profits are going that are really helping me out. And so coming down to the last couple of days, you're right, I'd already achieved the National Sales Court, and I had a figure that I was working for. I was working to reach 50,000, which would put me even higher on the sales court per like the prior year stuff. And so that was my goal. I was trying to reach that, but I was about, and when I wasn't sure I was going to reach 50,000, I was like, well, what can I get done? And so I decided in the last like 3 days, so like June 27th, I decided that I was going to do at least 2,000 more in retail sales in the next like 48 hours to hit like the 47,000. And that was where I was going to like be where I was and see where it got me. So, but in my head, I was like I break all of my goals down. I break them down monthly. I break them down weekly. I break them down daily. And even though daily is kind of hard because I'm not always holding appointments every day, it gives me something to shoot for. So if I sell one thing during that day, like that's better than selling nothing one day. But I was like, how can I make it most convenient for my customers, most convenient for me? And so what I did was, I didn't have time to put together a whole bunch of really cute flyers and like put a lot of like creative work into it. But I basically I put together $50 bundles, and I figured that out by how much I needed. I think I started with 24 $50 bundles that I was looking for. And I just kind of put some products together. So I put things that equaled about 50, and I would discount it to 50. So if it was worth like $53, because I still wanted to keep my profit. Sometimes I do sales and lose profit that way or don't make as much, but I wanted to keep my profit, seeing as I didn't have to do these sales to reach the ring. It was just extra. So I was like, okay, so if I break it down into $50 bundles, I'm going to sell $50 roughly at a time, and my customers aren't feeling like, oh my gosh, like she has $2,000 to sell. Like I can't buy $1,000. Like, is she crazy? But they can be like, okay, I can buy one $50 bundle, or I can buy two $50 bundles, and that's going to push her. So as the days were going on, I kept posting every few hours, like here's a new bundle. And then as soon as one or more would be purchased, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like thank you to this person so much. I now have 22 bundles left. And it just kept going down even into like the last several hours of, I believe it was Sunday night, was June 30th. And I was like, dude, I don't know. And then, I had some people that were like, you know what, like I'm going to like buy X, Y, and Z because I love you, Tiffany. You're going to do this. You're great. Christy was there to support me too at the end of the month. And so it was just kind of like, oh my gosh. And you really see like the camaraderie in your customers. So I love that I've built that in a way that my customers know that I care about them more than just their money. Like I want them to feel good in their own skin. I love hearing about their families, and that, I know Christy posted and a lot of people posted in my page, like, like, is anybody as nervous as I am for this? Like, Tiffany's getting so close. Come on, guys. Like, we can do this. And so just seeing that was like a whole different side of it's no longer about the money and what products I'm selling. It's like, our consultant or, my friend Tiffany, like she's going for something big. How can we help? So I think really breaking it down and sharing it with my customers made a huge difference in the last couple days and the push, because they were seeing the numbers go down. I was seeing the numbers go down, and just kind of built like the excitement in everybody. And then again, they're also seeing the numbers go down. So they're like, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Yeah. So that was my last 2 days.
I don't know what sort of magic happened with the countdown of like the numbers, because everyone was like a frenzy in that group. And it's so funny because I was laughing because I know from a consultant standpoint with like your unit and the team that you're a consultant with, I know that kind of a goal setting process is part of it. Like you all work together and you all cheer each other on for this goal, but your customers don't know that Mary Kay tradition. Like they don't get that. We're just, so it's really funny to watch that spill over into all of us as customers. And it cracked me up because, I'm thinking about it going, we're not walking across the stage. We're not going to get that diamond ring. We're not going to like get the bling, but like it mattered to all of us. We all just wanted to see you be successful and cheer you on. And you're right. I think that was the coolest part of the whole experience, at least for all of us, was to just see everyone rally around you and just lift you up and support you through those last final hours. That it was like watching the ball drop. Everyone's counting down, making sure you're going to be okay. And it's funny because the whole time I'm like watching it happen thinking, I've already ordered so many things. I can't order anymore. I don't know what else I would get at this point. And I'm so glad I wanted to help you get across the line. So I'm glad that everyone pitched in. And the $50 bundle idea was fantastic. And I love that you didn't get hung up on, well, I don't have enough time to make this, pretty or huge or over the top. I just need to like dive in towards the goal. I think sometimes we kind of get hung up on, well, if I can't do it perfectly or if it doesn't come out exactly the way I envisioned or planned, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Or I'm not confident in doing it. So I love the fact that you push past that to allow for, you just to get it done and not get hung up on all the trivial details. So can you tell us a little bit about like what it looked like out throughout the year to earn that amount? Like what amount of appointments and what time did it take to do that? And maybe what sort of sacrifices and choices you had to make in order to really reach that goal?
Okay, so I know, first off, I think mindset was a really big thing for me this year. Always something that you have to work on. But for me, like, I do put in a lot of hours at work. And so a lot of times even making the shift from like a corporate position into like, okay, you're the entrepreneur, you're the one, like you have to lead yourself. Like my boss, myself, is not going to fire myself for watching Hallmark, for instance. Um, so I really had to like go into the mindset after, like, especially after work. And part of that was we have a couple national sales directors who do something called the $1 Million Message, and they just share like ideas or encourage-ment and things like that. So that would be the first thing I did when I got in my car. And whether I was going into an appointment or going home, it was always something that like kick-started my day, or my day as an entrepreneur. And then for appointments wise, we have something called Book 10 by the 5th of the month. So you're always wanting, like, we call bookings the lifeline of our business. So like when we have a snowy white calendar and nothing's on there, like we're not going to sell very much. Like somebody might order a cleanser, but it ain't going to be it'll be $24. It's not going to be $2,400 in sales. So you want to have a full book. So we always try to have at least 10 appointments on our book at minimum by the 5th of the month. And then we get a prize, and I love prizes. But it was something that I like always did every month because I knew at least having 10, I would get a good jump on the month. It's better if you have that even in the first part of the month so you can continue booking out. But that would be my goal was to have 2 to 3 appointments every week. Sometimes it was 2 to 5. So I broke that down. I always, minus tax season, I have a 10 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, and a 6 o'clock open on Saturdays, and I do a 2 o'clock and a 6 o'clock on Sundays. So I sacrificed a lot of my weekend in order to make the goal happen. But I also really love doing this. I'm very passionate about it. So it's not like it was a chore. I mean, you have to work through the emotions. Like sometimes I was tired at 10 a.m. when I was having an appointment, at 9:59, but I had to turn on my Mary Kay mode and get over my being tired so that my customer had the best appointment that she could have. So that was like the number one. And then I would fill in, like if somebody could only meet during the weeknights, I would like fill that in. But I really tried to have 3 to 5 appointments every week. And appointments take anywhere from an hour if it's one person to about 2 hours if it's like 3 to 5 people. So roughly a week, I was looking at anywhere from maybe 5, like a weekend, every 5 to maybe 8 hours of appointment time to achieve overall 47,000 in sales in a year. So,
and I know that that's not all that's spent in it, because I also know there's time spent delivering products to people who ordered them, and dropping off samples, and putting in your order and bagging things up, and just there's a lot of behind the scenes, more administrative stuff that goes on. So I know there was more than just the 8 hours of time spent
right.
at your party. So but that's a huge sacrifice over a long period of time. We're not talking just sacrificing one weekend. We're talking a lot of weekends across the board. So I know when I first started working with you as a consultant, one of my first orders I got from you had this little postcard in it. It was the cutest thing. I should have kept it. It was so adorable. But it was a picture of you and your fiance that said, introduced yourself a little bit and said, I'm working this business to help pay for my wedding. And so that little piece of getting to know you made me want to be so loyal and supportive of what you were doing, because it was like, I'm not just buying some skincare from her. Yes, it's good for me and I get to take care of my skin, but I'm actually helping her reach a goal that's very personal for her. And I think that goes back to the whole thing. We all know we need to let people know, like, and trust us, and know the real people they're working with and have a personal connection. So I think it was great that you share that, and I'm sure that's a big reason as to why you do Mary Kay to begin with. So what is the motivation, the why, the reason to keep pushing through?
So that's always hard because I always say like your why should make you cry, like something that like is so meaningful to you. I can't say that I've found the why, and it does continuously change,
Mm-hmm.
um, or it can change. But my why right now is really like the profit from my business, but the profit to pay down debt because I have student loans and I have a car loan, um, and really making sure that that isn't going to hinder me further into the future because I have all of this debt. But I also kind of that's part of my why. But the other why is really like for my own self confidence, and being able to be there for my soon to be hubby. I guess it's not future really anymore. Soon to be my soon to be hubby and my future children, because what I'm setting up right now to be able to go full-time Mary Kay and not have to work that corporate position will allow me to see my husband more because he works second shift. So right now I work from 8 to 5 and he works 2 to 10:30, 2:30, 10:30. So we talk on that little half-hour drive he has home, and by the time he gets home, I'm like tired and basically sleeping. So being able to be at home when he's home and when he right before he leaves to work to say hi to him, and then not necessarily having to be up so early, so maybe I can be awake and have dinner ready for him when he is coming home from that second shift. So that's becoming even more of a why as to why I want to make this full time, and just being able to see my customers at a more convenient time for them is something else that's exciting, because I've had people like, sorry, I can't have an appointment, like the only time I have available is a Wednesday afternoon, like at 2. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I could take the day off, but it's not like I'm not always available. So I like, being able to make my own schedule the way I have it now, but really would want to move into a more full-time position so that I have a little bit more freedom.
Yeah. So with all of the sacrifices that you've made so far, going for a bigger goal this year means probably even more sacrifice, or at least the same level of what you're committed to now. How did you convince your fiance that, hey, I know you love me and love being around me, but all of my free time is going to be spent doing this, um, but but it's going to be good. Like, how do you convince him to get on board with a goal that has to do about lipsticks, which I'm sure he could care nothing about?
Yes. So I'm very grateful that both my fiance and my family as a whole are really supportive of me and of Mary Kay. And I think that does have something to do with me including them in my goals. So it's not just, oh, hey, Tiffany's not going to be here at all on Saturday because she's doing her Mary Kay thing. It's, no, honey, like I'm, I have 30 faces to like wash and make over this month. So like that's going to put me 3 faces closer, and knowing that like the money's going to help us because he has a student loan too. But I think he also loves that I love it. Like he sees how excited I am to do Mary Kay, and how I make a difference like in my own life and in other people's lives. So he's like behind me 100%, and especially like because he works second shift and that's best for his like whole sleep pattern because he's a night owl. But like it'll work because I can have an appointment at my house at like maybe 6 o'clock, and I'm not interfering with like his and my time, because he's not here. So I think it just is different for him. Like it's not like I'm never going to have time, and that's part of my time management that I'm working on this year, because I know the goal is so big and I know I have a wedding to plan and I do already have to work 40 hours a week minimum. Like making sure that I do have that time split out, to make sure I'm spending time with him and giving myself the time that I need to work my business. So it's kind of like working smarter. It is going to be a little bit more harder work this year, but also just working smarter. Like, I have this time frame, make the best of it. Don't sit and watch Hallmark, even though I love Hallmark.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, that's the thing I found too when I started to sort of relaunch and rebuild my business. I was working full time, and you know, it becomes critical that in those little pieces of free time that you
Mm-hmm.
have a concentrated, focused effort to really and truly, make the most of that little bit of time that you have. Now, have I been to the movie theater to see the latest movie releases? No. Have I watched the latest and greatest like Netflix binge? No, I couldn't even probably tell you what they are. It's just like that's not the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You have to just be smart about how you spend your time, and in the short term, yeah, it's a sacrifice, but the long term reward is so much worth it, and you're already getting a chance to experience what that feels like and what you accomplished this year. So tell us, what's the goal for next year that we'll get to see and celebrate with you January 30th, whatever, 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. So my goal for the coming year is 55,000 in sales, which is, almost 10, like 8,000 more than what I did this year. And I did 7 of that last amount in 1 month with a push. So really I have to stay on target. I can't stress how much of an importance it is for me, like mentally, like if I'm on target, it's a lot more foreseeable that I'm going to achieve the goal than like I'm already behind, like I don't know how I can do this, and you just talk yourself out of it. Um, so that's my goal retail wise, and that should put me, because I was like scoping out the top 20 people, like how much did you do and how much did you do. So I do know the queen this year sold 95,000 in Mary Kay products, and I was like, holy moly.
Wow.
Okay. So, but 55 should put me closer to the top 5. So that's my goal. But if I'm not a consultant, so I'm also working on building my team, because building a team in Mary Kay is a little bit, I shouldn't say more sustainable, but it allows you, if something happens like to me for a few months, that my unit, my consultants, my sister consultants, they can keep working, and you make commission of them. And so even if I can't work to the level I need to be working, for instance, I'll be getting married. So like, then I'll have like that whole week before and probably that whole week after that I'm not doing much. They'll be able to still keep working, and you can still earn a little bit. So yeah, so that's part of the goal too. So first off is sales, but also working to transfer my skills to other women, to bless them and allow them the same kind of financial freedom and the financial successes that I've had, so that they can bless their families with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Well, I think it's a stellar goal, because if anyone can introduce the company not only in an enthusiastic way, but also in running it the right way, it is you. And I've known a lot of consultants in the Mary Kay business, and not all of them have worked with the same integrity as far as working with the company plan and really trying to execute that by the book the way you have, and that's very commendable. And I know in the long run will be what really sets you apart in your success with the company. So I'm excited to see even more amazing things come out of your business, because it's just every year it just gets better and better. And so you have a lot to celebrate and be proud of in what you're doing. So, okay, so I want to give you a couple of rapid fire questions
okay.
that you're not prepared for. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay, when it comes to motivation, what is the one tip you would give to anyone who wants to know how to stay motivated or get motivated?
So one thing I always do to get motivated is reach up. So what I've been taught is you reach up for advice, you reach up for inspiration, motivation. So I reach up to that $1 million call that I talk about. I reach up to my director. When you reach out and sideways to people at your same level, they have potentially the same thinking you do, a little bit smaller thinking, so they aren't going to stretch you. So when you need the motivation, I like to start there with, somebody ahead of me who's going to be able to encourage me. And then I also like to listen to music and just pump myself up. So
Awesome.
that's pretty.
Takes me to my second rapid fire question. What's your jam song that like gets the blood pumping?
Well, pretty much. Oh man, I'm blanking on the name of the movie.
You can sing it for us.
Oh, no, I cannot. So I like Million Dreams. That's a really good song. But like, what is that? That movie's called something. I forgot. But yeah, so I like A Million Dreams by the newest movie that's come out, and it was like a big thing, and
Yeah, yeah.
it involved the circus.
Yes. Oh yeah. The Greatest Showman?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
We'll get there. Two minds work together there. So what is the best business advice that you think you received thus far in your career?
Okay, so I have a little diagram for us here. Business advice. So definitely. So one of the directors shared with me, like, if you're going for Queen's Court last year at seminar, like, you want to be holding 3 to 5 appointments. So that made it very simple in my mind. Like, oh, if it's just 3 to 5 appointments a week, like, I can probably do that. And I'm already trying to have at least 10 a month. So that would just be 12-ish a month. But I think the best tip I have, I don't know how easy this is, but it's a thermometer goal. So I'm very visual. So business tip, you post your pictures everywhere. I always print them out each month, like all these pictures, like purses, earrings, any prizes, because it always keeps it in the forefront of your mind. The thermometer goal breaks down how much I want to earn in profit by how much I need to sell, and I can literally see that. I don't know if I sold anything today, but this is my August one. But I can literally see that start going up the thermometer. And if you're wanting a really, really big goal like I did in June, I actually broke that thermometer down into 3 different thermometers, because when your goal is like maybe 10,000 in sales and you only have 8 little lines to divide by, if you spread it into 3 different thermometers, you really see it go up faster, so you get more excited.
Mm-hmm.
So like breaking down the goals and having a reason you're working is always a good thing when you're trying to go somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and then last question is, what is the best book that you feel like you've read lately, that's given you good inspiration, motivation, business sense, that sort of thing?
This one's hard.
I know, because who has time to read a book when you're doing $47,000 plus in sales?
Um, let's see. I would say The Miracle Morning is a book that I love. I can't remember who it's by, but it's a lot about mental game. So I know Mary Kay Ash has said it, and a lot of leaders will say, like, 99% is your mental attitude, and like 1% is actually like skill. Like, anybody can squirt out a product on a little plastic tray and tell somebody to put it on their face and wash it off. But you really have to have the mindset that, like, yes, like, do this over and over and over again, and you're gonna see the results. So I think the Miracle Morning really helps, like, control your thoughts, because we're the only, like, species with a brain that, like, works the way ours does. And so, it's a blessing, and it also is a curse, because you can play your own, like, worst nightmare reel, or you can play the highlight reel and, really stay positive. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's so important that first, like maybe half an hour or an hour of your morning is the
mhm.
most critical time of your entire day, because that's really what sets you on a good path to run on or not so good. And we've been there when we've had the mornings where we woke up late and we rush around all day and nothing in our day seems to go right from there. It's really
Yep.
not that nothing in our day can go right from there. It's just more so the fact that you're running behind all day because that first part of your day just didn't start off well. So I agree. There's power in the morning and taking the
Mhm.
morning mindset to a whole new level. So awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for being with us on our channel. This will appear on our YouTube channel as well as on our podcast, so stay tuned for that. If you're watching this video, we'll make sure to include a link for where you can reach out and contact Tiffany if you don't already have a Mary Kay consultant and you're looking for someone to really help you achieve your goals when it comes to taking care of your skin and your makeup routine and all that good stuff. She's your gal. So we'll make sure to include the link wherever you're watching this video and in the show notes on the podcast. If you want more information about how to grow your business, to scale that, to sustain it, and to reach all of your goals and dreams, make sure you visit ChristyBrowning.com for more videos, blogs, and podcasts to help you get where you want to go. So for that, we're going to say good night, and we'll catch you all in the next video.